2016. Uh, Happy New Year, everybody that subscribes to my channel, that watches my videos. It's the Pollinator, and it's very early in the morning. I'm not used to being up this early, so bear with me. I don't know, I've just had a lot on my mind for a very long time. 2016 has been one heck of a year for me. It started out having a really awesome transition into manhood for me, and it went along that way for quite a long time until probably right after my birthday or soon after my birthday. Life got real. People started passing away, and I even got blessings in that. A teacher of mine that from high school passed away, and I went to her funeral and ran into a childhood friend that reunion was just absolutely awesome. And I got in touch with her mother, who was my parents, one of my parents' best friend, my father's best friend, Rodney, and his ex-wife, Angie. Angie happens to live in Atlanta. So we're getting together in 2017, which is awesome. It's become quite clear to me that my family, having the support of my family, even though they're not in the same area, just two of them are, but it has just meant the world to me to have them here. I spent Christmas with one of them, and we had a great time. Back to my transition, I started out going to some support groups. I've been looking for a place to land as far as becoming an activist or an advocate in the transgender community, and so I was sticking my toes here, there, everywhere, getting grabbed at by a lot of people in the Atlanta metro because there's hardly any visible female to males in the Atlanta metro, let alone being black. So people were quite excited to see me, and they wanted me to get involved in whatever their cause was, but I just was been very selective. I go, I hang out, I see what they're about, I observe, and finally at the end of this year, I figured out where I wanted to be, which I have the type of personality that most of my adulthood I have lived outside of the box. Maybe because of the training that I've had as a public speaker, all of the influences I've had from Alcoholics Anonymous, all of the self-work that I've done has just had me living outside of the box. So what I discovered was that my calling is not in anybody's box, not in anybody's cause. I want to touch causes of people that I'm around, but I don't necessarily want to be part of it because I'm going to start my own cause. And it's going to take a national stage versus something just specific to Atlanta, specific to resources, which a lot of the groups that are in the metro are about, handing out resources to transgender individuals that need a lot of help in that area. But my calling is more on the spiritual realm, the mental realm, the emotional realm, to get us, I see I'm very, very, very involved in Facebook, and talking with a lot of people worldwide. And I see a lot of dysfunction with people. And I don't know if it's going, I don't think it's particular to the transgender community. It's just more pronounced because that's where I hang. But I've been in communities, different kinds of communities all over this country because I used to travel for a living. And um, once I got a hold of the fact that I could become a healthy individual, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I just went for it. And I see that a lot of people are stuck in a lot of areas in their life that I began to work on in my latter 20s. So this is what I'm offering to this nation. Right now, it's going to center around black masculine identified males, and it will probably spread out, and males that are in transition, um, and then it will spread from there. So aside from that, what else do I want to say about this year? I had a very dear cousin of mine pass away suddenly that was my age. In fact, we were probably like 8 months apart, 9 months apart in age, and that was pretty devastating to me. But I wrote a eulogy to her on Facebook that her family, which is my family, really appreciated, because it was a shock to us all that it happened. And I got an opportunity to grieve and make everybody laugh about what a character my first cousin Michelle Ross Gibson was. I also, I was going to say something else. I spoke at the Thea conference, and I met some phenomenal people at that conference, and I've reached out to them here and there over the last months since that conference, and I really, really felt honored to have been asked to speak at that conference, because I have not been in the community very long to be speaking like that. But people have told me they saw something in me that went beyond just being about transgender, that there were things that I exuded that that people wanted, and they wanted to hear from me about. I would go into some of the things that I've done in my life, but again, I'm going to wait until I publish my book in 2017 so that the nation can see who I am, what I'm about, where I'm headed. 2017 is going to be my year to shine, to spread love and healing and wisdom to whoever comes my way. And that has been a lot lately. A lot of people are drawn to me because of my energy. And the things that I hear about anxiety, depression, dysphoria, a lot of those kinds of words, I'm not sure how I avoided them because I worked on myself. And when I worked on myself, let me tell you something about that. I never went to therapy or into anything that I did as far as self-help was concerned to blow sunshine up anybody's ass about who I was. I went in there with specific problems that I wanted to solve, and I went to work to solve them. I did not want to go through years and years and years of being stuck in the same place. I had no tolerance whatsoever for sitting on the fence and being miserable and being upset and finding things to wallow in, where I'm seeing that a lot. People are wearing this negativity like a badge of honor, no less. There is nothing honorable about being stuck in things that do not empower you. To be stuck with things that disempower you and say, hey, I'm all fucked up. What it makes it look like across all transgender communities is that a lot of us are messed up and they blame it on our transition. Nah, we're bringing that crap into transition, okay? And just not grasping that transition in itself is very difficult. To go from being socialized one way all of your life to becoming who you are with a whole different set of, how do you say, feelings, thoughts, societal pressures, societal messages, to step into that world from a world that you've lived for, you know, a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades, 5 decades is very, very, very tough. And only the strong survive and end up with an awesome story to tell. Most of the stories I hear, they don't move me, they don't light me up, they don't light the people up that are telling them. In fact, when they, you know, by the time they end up repeat, and I'm sure they've been repeating that story, their story, to many, many, many people, and they're not getting anywhere because they are sharing disempowering stories and they're not looking for empowerment. They're not looking to empower themselves. They are quite comfortable being uncomfortable. My comfort zone is a type of discomfort that is a positivity that calls to me. I don't want to sit in crap for a long time. Even though I did suffer from depression for 14 years. But I'm going to tell you something about my depression. Even though I was depressed, I still helped people. I still touched people no matter where I was, and I ended up in the streets, and I even touched people there. And when I touched them, it touched me and helped me survive through those horrible, tough times. And so by the time that I got here into my transition, I had already touched many, many lives, and I didn't make my depression all about me, feel sorry for me, pity me, help me. I helped myself, okay, because I sought for help. A lot of us who are having a pretty good time in transition, part of it is because we're in therapy. And when we're in therapy, we talk real shit. We don't try to hide how we're feeling, what we're thinking, what we're saying to people, how we're reacting to various situations in life, and what's going on. We're straight up with them so that they can help us. Therapy can only help those who are honest with them. They don't read minds, so they only know what you tell them. And if you tell them just a little smidget of what you're going through, they'll only be able to help you with a smidget. If you tell all, they're going to be able to help you with all. So in my journey, this has been a year where I can't even believe the number of people who have come to me for advice, and I give it freely. I see people online talking about charging people to empower them. And I find that a little opportunistic. Um, God put us on this planet to help one another. And unless I'm a professional and I'm licensed and I'm a doctor and I've gone through all those steps to become that way, I have no business charging anybody to help them through anything. No business at all. That would be about me, not about them. Uh, as you see, my beard is really starting to come in. My sideburns are coming in. And I'm really happy about that. What else is happening? Oh, I'm still dealing with name change issues and getting dead named at the Veterans Administration, but I'm working that out. I put a rant out on Facebook yesterday about some crap that I was dealing with regards to my dead name and my legal name. But I just wanted to come online, share a little bit of myself with you before the end of the year. It's the 30th of December, so New Year's Eve is tomorrow, and I'm gonna find a way to celebrate it. And I hope you guys do too. I hope you have a happy New Year. Be safe. Stop drinking and using drugs, people. You ain't gonna figure your way out of anything with that either. It just delays any kind of progress you're gonna make as far as your problems are concerned. Everybody has problems. I have problems. Everybody has a problem. But it's in how you deal with it that matters the most. If you don't deal with it at all, it deals with you. I'm of the belief that what you don't own about yourself owns you. Comes out sideways onto others because you're denying the good, the bad, and the ugly. I embrace all of my humanity. And when I say all of it, I mean all of it. All of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. I don't just pick on the highlights and the things that sound good and look good to other people. I tell people when I fuck up. I tell people when I'm being an asshole. I tell people when I'm being kind. I tell people when I'm doing anything. I mean, some of the people I deal with, they know I'm tough, okay? But I'm just as tough on myself. So anyway, that's just a little hope, inspiration, motivation for y'all to make 2017 different than 2016. If you've been suffering all of 2016, make a plan to change that in 2017 and implement that plan. And that doesn't include sitting in your house, in your head, not putting anything in, okay? Just stirring around in there the same shit you've been stirring around with for years. If you don't put good stuff in or start emptying out the bad stuff, nothing's gonna happen. You'll be in the same place this time next year as you were this year. So that's my experience, strength, and hope with you. And this is the Pollinator out. Have a good one.